and welcome to the Eastern Maine Sports Media Podcast. This is our first one, and thank you for joining us as we're going to be talking about local sports, college, also the professional sports going on in Austin and around the whole leagues, Major League Baseball, NBA, NHL, all of it, NFL when it gets going. But I want to thank you for joining us for this first podcast. We're going to be highlighting a few things today. We're going to be highlighting Ben Barr's introduction to Umaine hockey that happened last week. We're going to be touching on the sports around the area. Also Husson, a little bit of Umaine, and also some Red Sox highlights. And the Boston Bruins started the playoffs the other night. Game 1-2 tonight. Also, we touched Celtics will be playing a play-in game later this week, I think Tuesday against the Washington Wizards. So my name is Marc Calnan. I want to thank you for tuning into this first one, and I want to hand Chris Lessner to the podcast.
How you doing, Marc?
Hey, Chris, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Good. And want to just talk, Chris, about maybe a little bit about Ben Barr's press conference that happened last week. He got introduced last week, and just before we get to his a clip from his press conference, maybe a little bit of your opinion on this hiring.
Well, it's obviously not the way you want to see a different coach come in, of course, with Red Gendron passing away unexpectedly on April 9th. Seems to be a lot of excitement, though, with Ben Barr coming in. He has quite a resume. Every team he's been an assistant for has seen improvement, often drastic improvement, while he's been there. He mentored and recruited at Union, Providence, UMass, where he was the assistant coach for all those teams. All those teams won a national title, including UMass this past spring. He's helped mentor 26 players that have gone to the NHL, including a Hobie Baker winner, Cale Maker, who's now playing for the Colorado Avalanche. So seems to be a lot of excitement. He's only 39 years old, so brings some new blood, a little bit younger blood into the program, and everybody seems to be pretty excited about it.
Yeah, you're certainly right. A lot of excitement around the program. Maybe, Chris, just talk about what do you think it's going to take for him to get the program back where it was back in the older days.
Well, I think it has to do with a lot of recruiting, and like I just said with Ben Barr, he's been a recruiting coordinator at the teams he's been an assistant for. He's done very well in that area. That's going to be a key thing, especially with some of the upgrades coming very soon here for the Elkhorn Arena. Get these players in, see the facilities. I think the recruiting is going to be a big thing, and I think Ben Barr is going to be the right man for that job. But it's going to be a process. This team has struggled for quite a while, so it's going to be a process. And a lot of the players and whatnot are still quite in shock over the death of Red Gendron. So it's going to be a slow start, but I think Ben Barr is the right man for the job.
Good points there, Chris. And I think what we're going to do right now is take a look at a clip from his press conference that happened last week, introducing him as the hockey coach at University of Maine.
I'd like to start with Ken, obviously to you and putting your trust in me. I don't take that lightly. President Farini Mundy, thank you. The search firm, Brian Faison, Samantha Hegman, Jim Montgomery, Garth Snow, and Bruce Major. I know without their support, I wouldn't be sitting here talking to everyone today. Very much appreciated. To my mentors, as Ken had mentioned, I've been fortunate to be around some of the best hockey people in the world, I believe, not just in college hockey or prep school hockey or pro hockey. I really believe in the world. And, some of those names that I'm going to miss some, Greg Carville, Nate Lehman, Andy Murray, Rick Bennett, Jared DeMichael, Tom Ward, Seth Appert, Dan Fridgen, Dave Shayak, Jamie Russell, some of the names I've been around in college. And then a friend of mine, Alex Moody, who was the reason I actually ended up as a student athlete at RPI, lives in the Boston area now. None of this would ever happen if he didn't believe in me when I was a junior in high school at Shattuck. Obviously, with the passing of Red, the circumstances around this are not ideal. It's tough on the team. It's tough on the community. I completely understand that, and I hope that in time I can honor the memory of the people that came before us, before me. There's so many of those people in this program, players, coaches. There's a tremendous amount of responsibility I feel to carry the torch into the future for me in Black Bear hockey. I'm going to embrace that responsibility, and I hope that we all together will, in time, be able to build championship programs here again at Maine. I know it can be done. I've seen it done at multiple places. There's a formula that works, getting the right people in place and then helping them get better every day. But it takes everybody. It takes our entire staff, our administration, everybody on this call, the community. It really is it's an effort that everybody has to be involved in. I know I'm the leader of the program at this point, but if we're all pulling in the same direction, we all see the.
Whoa. All right. I don't know. I'm not quite sure what happened there, Chris, but that press conference got cut off there for a second. But just, some of your thoughts. You already gave some, but definitely having a younger coach, maybe will be good for recruiting, huh?
Yeah, I think it will be. And plus the facility upgrades that they're going to go under here pretty soon with the El Pond Arena. And, Ben said all the right things. This is his first head coaching job. I think he'll embrace it and can only go up from here, really, for Black Bear hockey.
Yeah, no doubt. And, well said, Chris. And nice hearing from Ben there at his press conference. I think what we're going to do now, since we're already on Umaine, Chris, is maybe if you could give some highlights from some other things going on, sports-wise around campus and maybe what's going on and what's coming up for Umaine.
Yeah, the softball team finished their season there last weekend. They did not qualify for the tournament. Baseball just came out off a series where they won 3 of 4 this past weekend against Hartford on the road. One of the key things out of that series was Nicholas Sinicola, the junior right-handed pitcher for the Black Bears. He did take the loss on Friday, but he broke a 30-year school record for strikeouts in one season. Previous record was 108. Sinicola now has 114. He gets 6 more. He's gonna break the all-time America East record with 6 more, and he's got at least one more start as they host Albany this coming weekend for 4 at home. And then right now, based off win percentage, they're in second place. America East is broken up into Division A and Division B, and Maine is in second place based on win percentage in Division A right now. So a good weekend against Albany, they could be in the playoffs, and Sinicola will get more opportunities as well.
Touching on that, right now, obviously he's helped his position in the draft, but the Major League Baseball draft is July 11th. You see him getting drafted?
I mean, he's definitely not hurt himself this year. I mean, the strikeouts have been absolutely phenomenal. He's averaging almost 2 strikeouts per inning this year. He has 4 complete games. He, like I said, broke that 30-year school record that was set by Larry Thomas back in '91. He definitely hasn't hurt himself, Marc. So I wouldn't be surprised if a team took a chance on him in this upcoming draft.
All right, excellent stuff there. We're going to go on to our high school report, and we're going to start with what's coming up on Eastern Maine Sports Media this week. Games you can see on YouTube or Facebook, and always can see them again on both of those outlets afterwards. But coming up, it's actually our opening day tomorrow, the spring season, as the Dexter Tiger softball team travel to Foxcroft Academy, and it should be an interesting game. Dexter's kind of red hot. They've won 5 straight after starting the year 1-2. Foxcroft's one of the best teams in Class B. Tough loss the other day against a good Central team in Class C, but it should be a competitive game. A lot of equal teams around, and I think that should be a very, very good game. We do have a couple interviews from Foxcroft Academy. I was at a game earlier this season. Actually, it was Foxcroft and Dexter, and it was same matchup, and it's going to be a good game if it's anything like that. Foxcroft won that game, with some runs late, and Ava Rayfield pitched pretty well for them. But right now we got Michael Cabral. He's the head coach of Foxcroft Academy. Sorry about the video work. We kind of cut off his head a little bit in the video, but hear what he had to say. This is after a win over Dexter early in the season.
But we're very, very strong from 1 through 9. The big inning we had was sparked by the bottom of the order, so that's an advantage.
Right. And how good to get off to you mentioned you have a young team, so it's really good to get off this 2-0 start, give them some confidence, huh?
Yes, that was it's a tough division. It's a tough group, and again, a lot of sophomores, and because of missing last year, it's like having 2 freshman classes. And our sophomores haven't played since 8th grade. The freshmen haven't played since 7th. So we've got a lot of inexperience. So to see them get involved in a game like this, where they bent, they didn't break, this does a lot for them. They're going to be this made them a better team.
And lastly, everybody missed last year, and just the attitude and the atmosphere around just you guys being able to be out here.
We're just happy to be standing on the grass. This is. I don't think I missed a season of softball in 20, and you lost. You missed it. Just to stand out here again is beautiful, and to be with the kids again.
That was Michael Cabral talking, as I said, after a Foxcroft win early in the season over Dexter. And again, this should be a very good game. They've got a good pitcher, Ava Rayfield. She uses her changeup a lot and keeps the hitters off balance. And Avery Herrick's the pitcher for Dexter, and she's had a very good season. As I said, Dexter's won five straight. Dexter represented Class C in the state championship game 2 years ago, and they have a lot of that core back with Herrick and Beam and Peyton Grant, and they got a lot of good younger players. So and kind of, as I said, they started off the season slow, 1-2. Since that Foxcroft loss, they've won 5 straight. So see what goes on there. We also have a clip from Ava Rayfield, the pitcher for the Ponies, and she talked. This is also after the Ponies win over Dexter early in the season.
Different team than we did last time we played. It's totally different atmosphere, different people, but it's great. It feels awesome. I'm excited to get going with the season.
And that off-speed pitch you have really kind of got them off balance, isn't it?
Yeah. With my height, I really can't get much power out of my body, so I try to get as much as I can, but I've really been working on that pitch, just knowing that a lot of good hitters are going to be able to time my fastball, so I've been really trying to throw them off with my change.
Lastly, how, just in general, how good after missing last season, does it feel to be out here?
It feels great. Better than I could ever have imagined, better than playing softball has ever felt. It's awesome.
All right, thank you.
That was Ava Rayfield there talking, and again, looking forward to that one tomorrow. I'll have the call for you. We'll have a 4:15 pregame show tomorrow. So that's a first game. Then coming up, the second game we have is Wednesday, as we have Dexter again. They'll be hosting. This is a baseball game. They'll be hosting PCHS. Chris will be on the call with me for that one. It should be an interesting game. The first time they played it went extra innings. Dexter won. Dexter's right up there in the number 6 in Class C right now. PCHS is actually in Class D South this season, and their record's only 3-5, but they're playing some tough competition. They play Dexter. They play Central. They actually play Penobscot Valley, one of the better teams this afternoon, and one of the better teams in Class D North. So they got a very tough schedule. So they're 4th in the heel points in Class C South. And, if they can just pick up a win, a win over Central, Dexter, Penobscot Valley, one of those really teams that are going to give a lot of heel points, they can move right up. And, I expect them to be, tough out in Class D South and, could really make some noise. I think you saw the PCHS early in the season, didn't you, Chris?
I did. They came to East Corinth and played Central, who's probably a top 4 or 5 team in Class C North, and gave them all they could handle. PCHS actually led that game 6-4 late in the 6th inning before Central rallied for the win. So PCHS is a tough out, and they're going to be a tough out in Class C South. I'm sorry.
And yeah, they certainly are. And I think Dexter's going to know that coming in. As I said, they've already saw them once and had the hands full. They did win the game, but it took them extra innings to do that. So we do have a clip from Dexter, the baseball team, their coach Chad Graffam. This is after a win over MCI, a walk-off win earlier this season.
Game is we're going to face adversity. We got two ways to look at it. You can either hang your head or you can go get the next play. And luckily, this group is going to get the next play. As you saw today, we probably didn't deserve to win it, but they're battling through the adversity, gave them a chance to win it. So.
Husson and Parker at the top of the lineup really kind of set that up in the seventh inning, and kind of got things going today.
Yeah, all I'm going to say is I love this team. These kids. I've been coaching for almost 20 years, and these kids want to fight and they want to win. And I mean, those two guys at the top of the lineup can run, and they put the bat on the ball a lot of times. And this is just a great group. I'm having a blast.
And I noticed, kind of noticed there's a few of the other games seeing what happened. You guys kind of get balanced up and down the lineup too, don't you?
We make a lot of contact. I mean, the pitching hasn't been. Dominant across our league, and we're not dominant on the pitching, but our guys, they're making contact. We don't swing and miss a ton, and we put the ball in play and make people make plays. So,
kind of, and then lastly, Nate came through when you needed him the most.
Absolutely, Nathan's an amazing kid. If you ever had a chance to spend some time with him, he's an amazing kid, and.
All right, that was an interview with Coach Chad Graffam. We'll be seeing him and his team on Wednesday as they host the PCHS Pirates. The last thing I want to do in the high school report, Chris, Old Town and Orono, they played last week. You covered that game. They actually play again tomorrow, another game. Orono's undefeated. Old Town's only losses were to Bangor, a quality Class A team, which actually knocked off another note there. Bangor knocked off Oxford Hills the other night, gave Oxford Hills their first loss. So the Old Town's losses are to Bangor, and then they lost to a Class C power Orono. So Orono is actually the only undefeated team in class in baseball in the Northern Maine so far this season. There are a few in Southern Maine, but Orono is the only one in Northern Maine. Just give us a little wrap up of what you saw that day, Chris.
Yeah, we had a really good pitching matchup that day. The top guy for Old Town, Gabe Gifford, and the top guy for Orono in Cam Charette. Old Town did take an early lead, 1-0, but Orono jumped ahead there in the fourth inning, never trailed again after that, including Jason DeSisto stole home plate to give them a 2-1 lead, and they hung on 6-3. They did a good job of getting Gifford out of the game to the fifth inning, and then they added on a couple more runs there to pick up the victory. But we expect Orono to be one of the top there in Class B North, and we expect Orono to be right there at the top as well. So two very, very good teams. Should be another great game when they match up again tomorrow, Marc.
Excellent. Thank you, Chris. And next we want to go on to Husson. They had baseball and softball had an impressive weekend as they move forward, especially that softball team. They're really rolling. I'm going to let you take this, Chris, as you've been covering that closely, and you were there for the baseball games last weekend. So off to you.
Yeah, the baseball team in the semifinal round, they played Thomas College, and they rolled in the first game. These were best of 3 series. They played 2 games, and the first game, former Holton pitcher Cam Graham, he was very good. Complete game, no runs, 4 hits, 7 strikeouts. David LeBlanc had 5 RBIs for the Eagles. They rolled in that first game, 12-0. A little bit tougher in the second game. They actually trailed 6-3, but they were able to take advantage of a couple Thomas College errors to end up tying at 6-6. Then they scored 4 in the ninth inning, including a Brandon Smith RBI single and a Jackson Curtis 2-run double. And they're moving on. They'll play this Thursday, best of 3 at home against the West champ, which is SUNY Cobleskill. They're 14-7. They're the West Division winner. That series will start at 12 o'clock on Thursday, and I'll be there for that. And that wraps up baseball, softball. They played in the NAC championship down, this past weekend down at Casanova. They won both games 7-6 and 8-0. Eagles rolling. Jen Jones undefeated in the circle this year. Sydney Ames 13-1. They've won 20 straight games. They're 27-1, and they're going to find out this afternoon where they're going to be, who they're going to play, and when for the NCAA tournament.
Excellent, excellent stuff there, Chris. And I'm sure we'll update that on easternmainesports.com and in our Facebook and Twitter pages to let you know what's going on with them.
One more thing I wanted to add on softball is it would make sense for the Eagles. I can't speak on it yet because it hasn't been announced, but Bangor and O'Keefe Field at Husson University is one of the regional sites this year. So there's a chance Husson could be at home for that double elimination regional coming this week.
That would be exciting. And, Chris is our college guy, and he'll be all over writing about that on, this weekend. Well, starting today, we'll let you know when and where they play. Hopefully that's at home. So be watching out for that. Good information there, Chris. Next, we're going to talk about, the playoffs are starting. Briefly, we're going to touch on the Celtics. They play the Wizards tomorrow night. It's a play-in game, not where anybody really hoped or expected they would be this year, but they still got a chance to advance. So what happens is they're the 7th seed. The Wizards are the 8th seed. If they win that, they move into the 7th spot. I believe, take on the Nets. And then if they lose that, they'd have to take on the winner of the other game, which I believe is Charlotte and Indiana. And then the winner of that game would be the 8th seed. And just briefly, Chris, we want to move on to the Bruins, but just touch on briefly what you expect there.
I'll just, based on a personal opinion, I think the Celtics might be better off to lose that game against Washington and not face Brooklyn in the first round. Be better off. They've had some success this year against Charlotte and Indiana. They'd be better off to win that game and play Philadelphia in the first round. I think they would have a better time against Philadelphia. I don't think they have much of a chance against Brooklyn. I've been wrong before, but Brooklyn's had their number this year. They've won every single meeting against them. And of course, with Jaylen Brown being out for the season, a lot of it's going to rely on, Kemba Walker and Jason Tatum to carry those guys.
Yeah, at this point, I don't really expect much, even if they beat the Wizards or beat Charlotte or Indiana. And really, nothing's a guarantee. They've proven they can lose to anybody this season. So, hope for the best, but they've definitely underachieved. And, sadly, I don't think there's going to be any changes. But we'll talk more about that in future podcast, and maybe never know. Maybe they'll still be playing next week. We shall see. They only need to win 1 or 2 to be playing this weekend in the playoffs. So, but right now we're going to move on. I want you to give us a kind of a recap of Game 1, and Game 2 is tonight in DC, Bruins and Capitals, and kind of give us like a brief recap on the Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins didn't play bad at all. They definitely had some opportunities. They went 1 for 4 on the power play. And Washington goalie, their starter, Vanacek, he got hurt in the first period, and they had to use their emergency goalie, Craig Anderson. Bruins weren't able to take advantage. Anderson stopped 21 of 22 shots when he came in. But I like the Bruins' talent. Keep doing what you're doing. Get traffic to the net. Convert on the special teams, and they'll be quite okay. I also wouldn't rule out if Rask gives up an early goal or gives up a couple, something like that in the first period tonight. Not going to count out seeing former University of Maine goalie Jeremy Swayman in between the pipes in this playoff series too.
That would be exciting for people locally, that's for sure, and I think might give that team a spark, so that would be good. We're going to move on to Red Sox report here, as they went 3-4 this past week, which, on the surface you say, oh, that's awful, but considering they lost the first 3 games, that isn't as bad since they ended the week going 3-1, and, they played a tough Oakland team there, and they had some close games, and they only end up winning one of them. The Angels series, the Angels have been down. I expect them to be up a little bit, but the pitching hasn't been what it should be. But probably 2 of the more exciting games of the season happened in that series. Friday night they won, good win there, and then yesterday they lost. Both games were good. Pretty much yesterday was that bloop by Trout kind of, probably everybody thought the game was over, but with the shift, they couldn't get to that ball. Sometimes the shift doesn't work great for you, and it didn't in that case. And then Ohtani, we speak briefly about Ohtani. We have never seen anything like this in our lifetime, what he does. Being one of the best, one of the best hitters right now in the league, and a very solid pitcher too when he takes a mound, which he's going to again on Tuesday. But he is just something else, and really we haven't seen anything. I mean, Babe Ruth was the last person we saw do this, and neither one of us were around for that. It's something else, isn't it, Chris?
It really is. Watching Ohtani is a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people kind of were in shock yesterday with Matt Barnes blowing that game and blowing the save. Can't expect him to be perfect all the time. It's baseball. I compare Ohtani, definitely a better power hitter than Ichiro, but his swing reminds me of Ichiro a lot.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, he definitely a lot more power. I think Ichiro had power. If I've been to a bat practice with him, and he just didn't. He'd rather hit 340. Ohtani's going to hit 260, 270, and hit 35 home runs. So I think that's the difference. And baseball's changed a little bit where power is the game. But about the Red Sox, they again 3-4, 3-3 on the homestand. Lost the first two to Oakland, and won the last one, and then 2 or 3 against Angels. Need to start playing a little better at home, but I think overall we've got to be happy where they are at this point. And 6 road games, it's going to get tough now. Toronto, they're playing in Florida. They have home games right now. They'll be in Buffalo starting in a few weeks. But they really, this is going to be a tough series. I think it's going to be kind of like playoff atmosphere. Obviously, they're not must games. It's way too early in the season for that. But it'd be good if they could take 2 out of 3 against a tough Toronto team. And then they go to Philly. So the schedule is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:30 games in Florida against Toronto. And then they go to Philly. So no DH. We'll probably see JD Martinez a lot in left, which he's proven he can do just fine. They play Philly Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Saturday night's a Fox national game, so should be an interesting week. Hopefully they take 2 out of 3 both series. That's always the goal, and or better, and go from there. But again, we have to be happy where they are in the season right now. Is they're again 3 in first place and 8 games over 500. We're going to take a brief look at the play of the week. This is the Red Sox play of the week this past week.
Verdugo back. Verdugo near the wall, and it bangs off the center field wall. Verdugo falls down. Renfroe backing it up. The throw comes in toward third, and Chapman is out.
Wow, quite a throw there, huh, Chris?
Hunter Renfroe is when he gets into one at the plate, he can really hit him too. But his defense has been something else so far. And can we talk about the Red Sox 3, 4, 5 hitters so far? Unbelievable.
Yeah, no doubt, and and they're starting to get production from the bottom of the lineup. So that's good, and that's what they need. And pitching has definitely been a plus. They got to get more consistent on the bridge between the starters and Bonds. But some days Ottavino has it, some days he don't. Hernandez the same way. Sawamura's kind of stepped it up lately. I like what he's been doing. So I think they just need to get more consistent, get a couple of those guys going. But they got some guys coming back too. Hernandez will be back Tuesday, and I think Arroyo will be back by the end of the week. So they're gonna, which kind of they kind of didn't have the guys up at the end of the game they really wanted to, but there's nothing they could have done in that situation. But that's it for the Red Sox report, and let's kind of wrap it up here, Chris, with kind of a highlight of the past week and what we're looking forward to in this next week. And I'll let you start.
Okay. Let me add one more thing about the Red Sox. My daughter Cassidy is down in Florida. She's vacationing with her boyfriend down there. Maybe we'll be able to share some photos she'll be at the Blue Jays Red Sox game tomorrow night. Hopefully we'll be able to share some of the photos there on our social media links.
That's great. And also, I do want to mention Delaney Gardner does have pitches for Red Sox Blue Jays game early in the season at Fenway, and she'll continue to share some throughout the year. But good point. Maybe Cassie can get a few for tomorrow night, and we'll post those. But thanks, Chris. Now go ahead.
Yeah, my highlight of the week is going to be Nicholas Sinicola from the Maine baseball team. What he's been doing this year. Just a few stats from his season so far: 8-2 record. 1.96 ERA. He's pitched 64.1 innings, only allowed 14 earned runs on 47 hits. only 19 walks and 114 strikeouts. He's had 4 complete games, and hitters are only hitting 203 against him. So he's definitely gotten himself into a good position, I think, for the draft. This week, looking forward to the NAC championship for Husson baseball. And, of course, hopefully Husson will be playing at Husson this week in the NCAA tournament. The Eagles, this will be their 3rd straight trip. Of course, we didn't have a championship last year because of COVID. This will be their third straight appearance in the NCAA tournament. 0-4 in those previous 2 regionals. So Eagles hope to change that this week. All
right, that's great. My things I liked, want to highlight this past week. Nick Pavetta, he's pitching like an ace. He's definitely, obviously it's way early, but at this point he would be an all-star right now. Still plenty of ways to go, and he's got to stay healthy, as does Richards and Evalde and Erod. They stay healthy, that team's going to be right there in the mix, and so that's one highlight. Also, the not big into schedule releases, but got a date for the Patriots Buccaneers game, and I don't know, Chris, if you plan on going to that, you might want to sell a few things now.
I think I haven't checked yet, but once the tickets goes on sale, I'll see what happens. I've always told myself that, when that first was released, that they would be coming to play at Foxborough, a chance to see Tom Brady play in person one last time. I might drop $1,000 on that, and I'm being honest.
Yeah, you might only get to the parking lot with $1,000. But anyway, that's going to be interesting. I will not be going, but I will be looking forward to watching that game. And again, people spend that kind of money, they're also taking a chance. I mean, could be you're paying that much money to see one guy, and if that one guy happens to get hurt that week or the week before, or gets COVID or anything, and a lot of things could happen, and you're taking a big chance. But it'd be worth it for the people who do go. But they might not be able to pay their mortgage, but they'll be all right. But the thing I'm looking forward to the next week is getting our broadcast schedule started. Kind of with the mid-season now, and we're finally going to get our broadcast season started at 2 games this week, 2 games next week, and then we end it the following week with 1 game, and then hopefully we'll have a few playoff games for you. I'm really looking forward to it. Softball game tomorrow, baseball game Wednesday. 2 games next week, and you're going to join me. Wednesday, I got Jeff joining me for a few games. Zach's going to be joining me for a few games. We got a good crew, and we're looking forward to it. And then we'll have the summer, and then we'll get going again in the fall.
Yeah, I just like everybody else has missed a lot of things. We've certainly missed being out at games, missing the basketball tournament last year, all of baseball and softball, football. It's been tough. But things are turning around and things are looking up now. So
certainly you're right. And we're getting some good action here. In the playoffs will be starting. The baseball and softball playoffs will be starting before you know it. We also got some track recaps on the site. We got all the scores for you. EasternMaineSports.com, baseball, softball, tennis, and track when there's results coming in. But thank you, Chris, for joining me today. We'll do it again next week. And thank you all for listening. Give you a word, and then I'm going to first I want to say follow our social media outlets, Eastern Maine Sports. I'm on Facebook, on Twitter, Eastern ME Sports, Instagram, Eastern Maine Sports, and of course EasternMaineSports.com. Last word to you, Chris.
Just been kind of a unreal experience to be out at games again. It's missing the last year and a half has been very difficult, and like one of your interviewers said earlier, I think it was a softball pitcher that said that there's no feeling like this. And I think it's the same for us being out there, having missed all this time.
Excellent. Yep, very true. And I'm looking forward to being out there this week. I'll be at softball tomorrow. Dexter Foxcroft, you'll be with me on Wednesday. You and Jeff will be with me on Wednesday. PCHS Dexter baseball. So thanks again, and we'll talk to you next week.